For decades, Costco's $5 rotisserie chicken was the ultimate weapon in retail history, until a surprise rival quietly knocked it off its perch. Today, we're breaking down a masterclass in corporate strategy and consumer psychology. Conventional wisdom has always crowned Costco as the undisputed king of the pre-cooked bird. But as we're about to see, holding onto that crown has become a highly calculated and honestly incredibly expensive liability. Listen to what one consumer recently posted online. They said, "Costco, folks in shambles. Sam's chicken has been better for years. They just don't have the cult following." Well, that comment actually preempted a bombshell report from the nonprofit watchdog Consumer Reports. They dispatched secret shoppers to collect and lab test warm rotisserie chickens from 10 major retailers. And the results? They were definitive. Sam's Club's Members Mark chicken officially dethroned Costco's legendary Kirkland signature.
The difference here really comes down to precise flavor engineering. Sam's Club uses a deliberate paprika-forward rub that yields this complex roasted profile with notes of real onion and garlic. Costco, on the other hand, relies on a pretty basic bouillon seasoning, but it suffers from severe inconsistency. The saltiness literally swings wildly between samples. So at an identical $1.66 a pound, price wasn't the differentiator. Sam's Club simply engineered a tastier bird.
Section 1. Health and Safety Lab Tests. Consumer Reports didn't just test for taste, they ran rigorous chemical analyses, revealing some stark contrasts in retail grocery prep. You see, most rotisserie chickens are injected with a saline solution just to keep them moist. Now, while Sam's Club actually showed higher sodium levels than Costco, it's completely free of carrageenan. That's a controversial seaweed-derived stabilizer that Costco still uses. Whole Foods went a completely different route, avoiding saline injections altogether and delivering birds a full pound heavier than advertised.
But the lab tests uncovered something way more troubling: phthalate DEHP. This is a plastic compound linked to cancer and birth defects, and it can actually leach directly into hot meat right from the packaging. The lab found concerningly high levels of this exact compound in the packaging from both Costco and Walmart. So while Costco's chickens are famous for their massive 3-pound size, these chemical findings really validate recent customer complaints about the Kirkland chicken sometimes carrying a distinct chemical taste.
Which brings us to a massive strategic paradox. We know Costco's chicken has inconsistent flavoring, we know it has packaging issues, and most importantly, we know Costco literally loses money on almost every single chicken they sell. So if it's a financial black hole, why defend it so fiercely? I mean, they recently built a state-of-the-art chicken processing plant in Nebraska for hundreds of millions of dollars just to control the supply chain. That completely defies basic retail logic. So why do it?
The answer is this exact number: $4.99. Costco has deliberately frozen this famous price tag for well over a decade. They are completely ignoring soaring inflation and rising agricultural costs. Because here's the secret: this bird is not a profit center. It was never designed to be one. It is a highly calculated, deliberate psychological trap.
In the corporate strategy world, we call this a loss leader. It's an item priced at a deliberate financial loss, specifically to pull you through the front door and trigger massive foot traffic. The rotisserie chicken, exactly like their famous $1.50 hot dog combo, functions purely as cheap bait. It is the ultimate customer acquisition strategy, cleverly disguised as your family dinner.
Section 2. The Retail Psychology Trap. If you track the foot traffic heat maps of a standard Costco warehouse, you'll see the architecture is working directly against your wallet in 3 distinct steps. Step 1, you walk in and you're immediately assaulted by high-margin temptations: televisions, laptops, jewelry. They hit you when your willpower is at its absolute highest. Step 2, the store uses what retail insiders call a racetrack layout. It's a giant loop that forces you to navigate an endless maze of seasonal goods. And Step 3, where is that $4.99 loss leader chicken? It is placed at the absolute furthest corner in the very back of the store. You literally cannot buy the cheap chicken without walking past 100 things you didn't know you needed.
And the traps just keep compounding. Notice how there are no aisle signs? They want you slightly disoriented, so you have to wander and discover items. The bare concrete floors and items stacked on wooden pallets, that isn't laziness. It sends a subconscious signal straight to your brain screaming, "This place is a wholesale bargain, don't overthink it." This intentional friction stretches the average shopping trip to a staggering 40 minutes, keeping shoppers mildly lost for nearly an hour is statistically proven to double their expected checkout total. Heck, even the cheap gas out front is just another magnet to pull your car onto the property.
Then there's the most brilliant psychological weapon of all, the free sample station. When a friendly employee hands you a tiny cup of teriyaki chicken, it is not a gift.
It is a highly calculated transaction built on the principle of reciprocity. When a stranger gives you something for free, your brain quietly logs a social debt. The fastest, most comfortable way your mind clears that debt is by tossing the full-priced, bulk-size version of that exact snack right into your shopping cart. It's a live marketing experiment, and it works flawlessly every single day.
Section 3. The real product is you.
Let's expose the ultimate illusion of Costco's business model. They move over $269 billion of merchandise annually, but their gross margin on those products is a razor-thin 11%. That is less than half the industry standard. After operational costs, Costco retains maybe 2 to 3 cents on the dollar for the physical items in your cart. So how on earth does this translate to a multi-billion-dollar valuation?
The answer reframes everything. Those annual membership fees? They carry virtually zero overhead. They are pure margin. That single reoccurring revenue stream accounts for over 50% of Costco's total operating profit. Here is the absolute truth. Costco is not a retail store that sells memberships. It is a membership gatekeeper that just happens to run stores.
And this membership model is heavily gamified. Beyond the basic $65 Gold Star tier sits the $130 Executive tier, which dangles a 2% cashback reward. This acts as a behavioral trap, creating a psychological sunk cost fallacy that incentivizes members to consolidate all their household spending at Costco just to earn back their premium. And the math proves it works perfectly. Executive members make up just 48% of the base, but they generate a massive 74% of total sales.
It all culminates in this single spectacular metric, 92%. That is Costco's membership renewal rate in the US and Canada. Every single year, more than 9 out of 10 people willingly hand over their fee before they've bought a single item. That is recurring revenue that tech companies would absolutely kill for. Every loss leader, every cheap hot dog, and every massive $4.99 chicken exists purely to ensure that when your renewal day comes up, walking away feels like a terrible financial mistake.
Will Sam's Club win this war? Can they break this psychological monopoly? Or is the warehouse trap perfect? The battle isn't in the aisles. It happens in the consumer's mind. And that perfectly explains why,